Hey there, team, and welcome to sea. Ooh, Tofflas? No. Very misty. What is this map? I sort of recognize it. I thought this was maybe just a little field. As you may be able to hear, we have a very rambunctious cat behind me. He's going to make this a real pain in the ass to record. I think what I'm most likely just going to do is open and close the door and just leave the recording running. I don't think I'm going to make cuts for it this time because I can see this happening several times over the recording. Anyway, I don't know the name of this map. Of course, the fog is kind of making things a little bit more difficult. No. Have I played on this one before? Don't actually know. Anyway, it looks like the attackers are starting kind of in the outer part of this town, and then the defenders are behind the secondary mound or the secondary walls here, which are of considerable size. It's going to take quite a while for an attacker to run his troops up there to attack, say, the troops on the walls or the mound. Whenever it is like a dirt wall like this, I don't know, I always struggle with what to call it. Anyway, so that is going to probably be the first opening of the door for the cat. Let me go to 1 times speed just to be safe. So yes, Basil is just in an odd mood this morning, it seems. Anyway, we've got Gondor and Imladris. This is the final 0.97 battle I'll be doing, I believe. Shouldn't be any more that are coming after this. Yeah, because I'm debating with what to do with 0.97. Whether or not to sort of just uninstall it for the, clearing up the space, or holding on to it just, because of course there are such big differences between 0.97 and 0.98 that, there's definitely some maybe themed battles that we could do better in 0.97 if we ever wanted to do that, but I don't know. I've not quite made my decision yet, but I'll probably just be uninstalling, because you can always just reinstall 0.97 if you want to. And I do like to, even though I'm not struggling for space right now, it's nice to prepare. Anyway, so this is a cityscape, but I'm sure that's, well, yeah, it looks like Smeagol's kind of not got a lot of room to deploy. He doesn't want to deploy anything outside, so once we start, I suspect there's going to be a little bit of a grace. Imladris and Gondor are definitely a good shout together. Who's this other? Pemberton. Never actually seen that name before. Only 1 level of armor upgrade for these boys, the Gondor infantry and the spears there. I think Gondor, as I say, is a very good ally to have alongside of Imladris. Of course, Imladris can pack on the armor, but those low numbers, really, sort of the lowest numbers in any faction, really mean that they struggle to take a bit of struggle to grind away for long periods of time. So having somebody like Gondor that is exceptional at that is damn good to have. And even so, yeah, these Gondor militia infantry, again with that brown look to them, which makes me think they haven't received an armor upgrade, but I might be imagining it. This could very well just be something that I've invented myself. I like that kind of across the board, Pemberton's just gone for that 1 level of armor upgrade. It's quite a nice sort of uniformity, and it tends to be something that is quite rare to see. Usually people will either go for the double armor upgrade or none at all. Warren's the White Tower, of course, is the unit we don't have anymore. The Vanguard of King Elisar are now really the absolute gods of Gondorian combat now. But yeah, okay, cool. Shouldn't be that long to deploy, come on. Especially if you've got a bit of a grace, sometimes if I'm an attacker, I'll tend to just deploy very quickly and then just shuffle, because the defenders are always going to take more time to shuffle around. So Hard-Headed Clown here is our first attacker playing Angmar, Garns of Carn Doom, Scourge Raiders, Pikemen. No armor upgrades apart from on those Scourge Raiders there, but you'll almost always see them get armor upgraded. Guardians of Cardoom, some Blackguard there, some Blackwatch Legion and Hammerguard. Again, neither of them with an armor upgrade. Witchers have been brought today, and the Trolls of Gundabad. Any other shenanigans? Doesn't look like it. Probably some hidden units here and there. Thanatos is here, so he's got his Morin on halberds. Orc Maulers there, the Orc Archer battle line. Of course, Thanatos really a god of defensive play, but certainly a capable attacker as well, so we'll see how he gets on today. More on halberds there, infantry, Saurons, well, the Olokai, and Blackguard of Barad-dûr. Yep, okay, no complaints. Our captains there, nothing with Mordor. Of course, you can go really elite with Mordor, really quite small with Mordor, but on the attack, I think you're better off going for the more horde play. And then Agravosh, how did I decide to say that? Because he was in the last battle. I'll probably just be going aggro today. So he's got his Orcs of the Misty Mountains today. Again, well, more and more numbers. Black Orcs, the Mountain, Heavy Gobble Infantry, Snow Trolls in the back there, Blackback Berserkers, Gobble King Bodyguard, Mountain Orc Berserkers, and the Drake Broodlings too. I mean, it's a... sorry. I think it's quite a decent idea to take the Broodlings, although there's definitely some tighter spaces in here. It is flat. It is flat as anything, and to be honest, like if I was a defender, I would have wanted to take a cavalry unit, because I just think that that's going to be such a nice way to punish attackers if they do manage to make it through into this internal street area. You can just, I mean, especially with something like the Gwathi Rock Door are bloody expensive, and Gondor. Right now, of course, Gondor doesn't have those Lords of Gondor that they do have in 0.98. But they've still, I mean, they've got the Mithrandir's Retinue, who are very similar. Maybe not quite as badass, but still very similar. So I would have wanted to maybe see a cavalry unit from the defenders for this, but yeah, it's not necessary. Not necessary. Armor upgrade for those Swords of Rivendell there. We have had a quick look at the Imladris forces on display today, but yeah. Just looking for anything crazy. He's packed up those militia, the Swords of Rivendell, the Imladris Guardians with that armor upgrade today. I mean, the Orcs are going to have a very tough time sort of besting them. Even some of those armor upgraded Gondorians are going to be tough to match, but yeah, the likes of an armor upgraded Imladris Guardian ain't happening. So what we're seeing, you know, as you can see from the mini-map there, looks like we've got Imladris to the right, Gondor to the left. I think with a position this large, that's probably a good idea. As much as it would be awesome to see the Gondorians and Elves of Imladris sort of fighting side by side, I'm sure we'll get that later on in the fight. I think just the players' micro attention would get dragged apart a bit too much for that. So, I mean, how many entrants do we have here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I mean, jeepers sake, 7 places to defend with only 2 defensive armies is going to stretch the line very thin, and it's going to stretch attention very thin. So I think it is probably a better idea just to be like, look, I'll take 3, you take 3, and then, you know, we'll share one of them or something like that, or I'll take 4, whatever the case may be. I think that's probably better, and that kind of, because we are going to have a lot of time before the attackers actually make their attack. I'm going to keep jumping around just in case we start firing arrows at each other, because if you're a defender and you do see maybe the attacker expose one of their more valuable units, you definitely want to give that a volley. And again, is that 1 level of armor upgrade for the archer? Yeah, I like that. I really like the Pemberton's just gone for this very uniform, just 1 level of armor upgrade across the board. It does kind of make sense of, like, I mean, if these Gondorians have travelled a great long distance, then it's quite a pain in the ass to be travelling with that full chest plate. So having a lighter armour set across the board, you know, makes a bit of thematic sense and all that. So yeah, especially with these Eldarenway archers, if you saw them expose any unshielded elite, you'd want to just open up on them with the accuracy that you can get from the Eldarenway, for sure. But yeah, where was I just before I started talking about archers? Oh yeah, so because it's quite a short battle, 35,000 frames, and we're 5,000 frames in and we've not seen a single casualty yet. So that makes me think that when the attack begins, it's going to begin just about from every position possible, and it's going to happen very, very quickly. which usually means a good thing for the attackers. But when you've got elves sort of as powerful and disciplined as Imladris, and a defensive force as sturdy as Gondor, they can withstand those sudden rushes. I really like that little this could either be like a little public park, or it could be like a little orchard, you know, for just some trees there, some apple trees and so on. That's quite cool. The little dockyard over there, it's very cool. I do quite like this, man. It's nice. Archers of Rivendell pulling back from here. I say it's a big investment of time to put your boys up there. It takes them a long time to sort of run up and down, especially these guys, the Godhalim, all the way up here, because they can. The only way for them to get down is to run all the way over here and all the way down, which is going to take them a good while, a good sort of 2 minutes at least. Which even Medieval 2 happens, you know, it definitely plays a lot slower than some of the more modern Total Wars. That's something that I remember seeing a lot when Warhammer first came out. I was like, God, the battles are fast. You know, everything is done in 5 minutes. And of course there's benefits to that, but I think the charms of Medieval 2 is that things do happen slower. You do have a bit more time to think things out. It's not as much about just your personal micro ability. It's more your grand tactical sense, I guess. Your individual micro ability can certainly help a hell of a lot, especially when it comes to those tournament, you know, 1v1s, or if you've got a bunch of cavalry and stuff like that. But when it comes to these sieges, it's a lot more. Your micro doesn't have to be the best. You just have to be, you know, quite good at thinking these things out. So should see in the description, just because this has taken a little while and I'm sure it will take another few minutes more. Feel free, look down there. There should be 2 timestamps, and one of them should be for basically just jumping straight to the action. So feel free to do that. As I always say, you know, I'm grateful that you're watching my content. So watch my content in whatever way you please, pretty much. So just feel free to skip ahead, and as I say, use those that ×2 speed. I watch a lot of Total War content on YouTube. I watch it just about every Reforged video I see it posted. I'll watch it. So the only way I can really get through all that is by watching it all at ×2 speed. So feel free to do the same with my videos. Looks like Misty's maybe going to be the first person to come in. And again, this is like, if we had a cavalry unit, this would just be absolutely painful for the poor gobbles. Getting a charge right into the front of that, just in and out. Very little damage to be taken in return. Now, of course, the goblins, if there was a cavalry unit on the defense, the goblins wouldn't have allowed that. They'd probably had a spear unit. I'm hearing shots being fired. I'm hearing arrows coming across. Yeah, Gondorian archers going into the orc fellers. Yeah, it looks like it. If I could get the orc fellers bound up, goodness, bunched up together, I would definitely fire into them. I don't like the idea of firing into them when they're sort of spread out like that. Citadel Guard here. See, I would have let them come in a little bit closer, Pemberton, but I guess he's not, because he's right. So he's going to make contact there. That wasn't a charge there from Hard-Headed Clown. These guys really just sort of walked into that. With that, you know, and it looks like that was maybe a mistake. I think they're being ordered away, but maybe getting a little bit of a pathfinding issue. Either way, they're getting stuck in now, but I would want to come in for a charge on their flank there with this unit of spears. Of course, the spears aren't going to do much damage, but you might even get a break on them there. But at the same time, he's probably pretty happy with how that clash is going, and he wants to sort of grind down a few more of them before they end up breaking. That might be the desire. Over here, yeah, you're seeing some pikes. These guys are going to do a lot better, but they're up against the Fountain Guard. Of course, the pikes are going to outrange those halberds. Fountain Guard in this 0.97, they are still halberds. That is changed in the new version, with them being that sort of two-handed spear unit, two-handed AP spear. So it's still halberd, I guess, but they just use it in a different way. They don't use it in this phalanx formation. But those pikes getting stabbed at from AP, from really high quality. Pemberton is going, I mean, I guess because he's got so many positions to defend, he can't really have reserve elites. Everything's got to be on the front lines. This is where I'm really scared. What else do we have here, dude? Smeagol? We need something more. 1 unit of Swords of Rivendell and 1 Elder Emway Spears is not going to be enough here. They're running in to try their best. Ugh. But yeah, fantastic from the Broodlings. Expected a lot more casualties there. Okay, alright, they just took a little while to come in, but yeah, okay, that did inflict quite a lot of casualties on them. This is real danger. Those Elder Emway Spears, to be honest, actually will rip apart those trolls, and will certainly rip apart the Drake Broodlings. I'm just going to go 0.8 for a minute, because as I say, this is going to happen quite fast. I'm also seeing a little bit of frame stuttering, unfortunately, so yeah, I do apologise for that. Probably should have, I didn't expect there'd be so many buildings on this map. If I could go back, what I would have done is I would have removed the shadows, which would have made this run a little bit smoother. But as I say, I didn't really know what map this was. Over here, this is, yeah, we've got a lot more elites, a lot more power here. So the gobos are definitely, even with the Moron Halberds getting involved there, the gobos on this end are going to get absolutely gutted. But that's not really too bad for them, as long as they do some great damage over here, and maybe they even bust in through here. You can see Smeagol is sending some troops over, but he has to leave something here. We can't just leave an open way in for the enemy. You can see Pemberton, all he's got over here is 1 unit of spears as well. So although there are so many places to attack... Oh, shoot! Oh, dude, sorry, I didn't understand your game there, Pemberton. I didn't see those Mithrandir's retinue. Fantastic, an absolutely brutal backstab there from those guys. They are Lancers, but they're, yeah, fantastic Lancers. So that was fantastic. That was really, really good. A nice early takedown there. We're at 7 for 18, which is a great situation to be in this early on, especially because of how little ammunition the defenders have used. But as I say, I think because of the amount of ways that the attackers have to get in, this isn't going to come down to how much damage can be done at range. I think this is going to be a very melee-focused clash for now. Orc Fellers here, number 2 Orc Fellers coming on in. Gonna have a bit more fun up against the Gondorian infantry maybe, but you can see I like this. You can see he's hard-headed clown is sort of trying to push around, causing these guys to waver though. But if he can sort of get in and around the Gondorians there, they don't have too much that they can send in reserve. Warren of the White Tower, yeah, being sent in even now. This is really early for something like that to get sent on in. Nice, I'm really happy to see the... oh yeah, I do need to grab a screenshot, don't I? Grab something like that. Fountain Guard and the Elder Emway Swordmasters there. Some Ravenhells of Caerandros, another unit that we're losing, unfortunately, of course. But Gondor, even though Gondor is losing some units, I think they're becoming much more powerful in the new version. I really think Gondor is gone from being a faction that people enjoyed in sieges but didn't really take too seriously in a field battle, say, to now just being a damn good army to have. I like this. This is a good move from Smeagol. He's really going off over here, especially with the Imladris sentries. This is going very, very well for him. So it's about time, yeah, pull out one of those Imladris Guardians and get them sent somewhere else. Problem is, it's such a big distance. This is quite a big area here. Over here. Okay, this is where we're having the most trouble. Goblin Halberds coming running on in now. But it seems to be under control now. The trolls are gone. We've got some red units running around inside. No, those are routing units. You can see here some of the attacking forces have made their way around. Hard-Headed Clown has come all the way around here. Scourge Raiders, Guardians, Blackwatch Legion up against a unit of Pilgrim Marines, Infantry and Spears. This is going to be rough for Gondor unless those Pilgrim Marines really get their ammunition used up nicely. And again, I love the uniformity of those armor upgrades. It just makes sense. This is one combined unit that has all traveled together. It's very, very cool. Those pikes broken there and going to be causing that morale debuff to anybody else that comes through here because they've sort of been glitched out. I like this little surround there. So this has started off, in the beginning, this has gone quite well for the defenders. I do quite like this, but we have taken casualties. and we've spread ourselves out a lot, and what we've not really seen from the attackers is just about any elites. Now you could argue the trolls have been used. I love this, very, very well done from Thanatos, getting those Olokai into the trebuchet teams and busting them out. To be honest though, I mean, we've not really needed the artillery, but damn, it would have been nice to have. So and there's nothing to send to save this. Maybe the Mithrandir's retinue, if they could get around for a charge. Dear me, okay, we've got a little breach coming over on the right. Those Imladris Guardians, thank goodness they were sent over here. Probably really not where they wanted to be. They didn't quite reach the choke point, but at least they're here to make sure that these maulers and javelins can't rush in and get us around. Now those javelins still have their... well, they've got their spears out, but that's probably because they've been engaged. They're trying to reload, you can see. God, if they end up getting broken before they used up their ammunition, that would be horrific. Smeggle coming over here with his God Helm. Thanatos sending in the Uruk captains. This is good, yeah, because we needed some elites here. We've broken this bulky unit. 84 guys, they are running off. Of course, they weren't really going to make much distance up against Fountain Guard and Gondor spears, but they're getting chased off now anyway. They should return. Minas Morgul chosen, yeah, Thanatos saw that line was shattering, so he has pulled back. The problem with that is it's going to mean these Orc javelins do not get all their ammunition used. Hopefully they've already used up a volley or two. He's got them set on guard mode though, to try and just get all of that used up if he can. Hopefully he does. These Orc maulers, to be honest, they'll hurt the Guardians. They certainly will, but the Guardians do not just rely on that armor value. They certainly do rely on their sort of elven defensive skill as well. That is what's much more important for these units. Of course, Umad did his Imladris faction overview. Now, of course, that faction overview is based on 0.98, but Imladris is still mostly the same from that. So a lot of what he said is still very, very true for this battle. You know, with the... you know, Imladris kind of treats the armor as a fun little bonus. It's not like with the dwarves or with Gondor, where the armor is kind of a necessity. With the elves of Imladris, it's just kind of like, yes, no, I'm armored, but I can kick your ass without the armor anyway. Over here, these Guardians have actually really struggled. I suspect that the Pilgrim Marines were able to get some good hits onto these troops. You can see over here the poor spearmen. Oh, only a fool could lose this. Interesting. Warriors of Minas Ithil are present as well, coming flying on down. Scourge Raiders unleashing hell with those axes. They are locked morale. They're kind of an odd assassin. Most of the assassins, of course, using little throwing daggers. The Scourge Raiders opting to chuck those axes. But up against the armored up Gondor, they're gonna be resisting a good bit of that damage. Of course, javelins are AP. Axes are not. Those Citadel Guard, I like this from Pemberton. A lot of people would be sort of just wanting to throw those guys straight on in during, once they had arrived to the front, but sort of keeping them back, letting them rest for a minute because there's not an absolute necessity to have them in there is probably a decent idea. Barrow Wights, just 66 Barrow Wights in there. You wouldn't expect to see the Barrow Wights go down so quickly, but because those Citadel Guard, that AP jabbing them in, they're taking them out pretty nicely. Now, with the new version of the game, Barrow Wights have been changed quite dramatically. No longer really having that massive armor value. They now have a huge, I think it's 20 shield value, which is absolutely crazy. So, at this point, yeah, you do not shoot at Barrow Wights, not at all. They still have, well, they've got 3 hit points, but they've only got 5 armor, so it's no longer really, you no longer counter them with something like the Citadel Guard, or just a basic AP infantry unit. Now, you need to maybe be a little bit more clever with how you take them out, especially in a siege. Graithie Meridain with that armor upgrade, they're being pulled back from the fight a little bit here. Imladris Guardians really enjoying this confrontation. Thanatos coming in. The Olokai coming in for round 2 up against those spearmen. Orc archers, perhaps out of ammunition. Oh no, they've still got their bows out. We do see the Temple Guard, right? They'll be messy when they get thrown into melee later. Over here, the sentries engaging. The halberds getting broken there. And unfortunately for aggro, They've bugged out. I wonder if it's to do with these this sort of tight space. Oh no, they're getting out of there. But that's a lot more than that went down, and a lot more than that have been captured there by the Gwaithiarth and the rest of the elves. So now aggro really, I mean, if those heavy goblins got sent on in there, they would just be absolutely grinded up. I think aggro just leaving them there is probably the best thing he can do, just to hopefully, you know, and same with over here, just having to make the elves leave something behind to stare him down is a good idea. These crossbows are opening up. Are they going up into the Swords of Rivendell? They're probably, I mean, there's definitely an argument to be made when you're an attacker and one of the defenders is Imladris. There's definitely the argument to be made that any elf dead is good, you know. So even if you're just shooting into the likes of the Swords of Rivendell, it's you're killing elves at the end of the day. You're not killing basic humans or orcs or anything like that. So it's always worth it. I would love to see a javelin, a bolt or two going into the Imladris sentries or something like that. Over here, this is, as I say, this is really where I thought Pemberton was going to come undone, but he's kind of he's held pretty damn well over there. Fountain Guard standing their ground here again. If we had some crossbow units going into the Fountain Guard, that would be absolutely painful. Over here is there a push happening. Guardians of Carn Dûm pushing through, engaging. They'll fight. They won't fight to the last man, but they'll fight very well. The Barrow-wights certainly will, though. Of course, Barrow-wights looking a bit different now. I will miss this kind of just overall blue, ghostly look to them, but in the new version, they do look. I think they match the general aesthetic a lot better. You know, you can sort of see the. Yeah, their sort of ghoulish look, I think matches the general sort of. I never want to call it like a Tolkien-esque aesthetic, because of course it comes from generally our idea of this aesthetic comes from the Peter Jackson movies and so on. But I think it fits into that quite nicely. Of course, there was an awful lot of art. I should really know, because of how big a Tolkien nerd I am, I really should know the name of some of these important artists and stuff that that helped influence the style so much. But yeah, I do not. Of course, we got a lot of the OG art team have been consulted. Now, you never really know what that means. Sometimes I think they throw that out there just to get you hyped up, but supposedly a lot of these artists have been consulted for this War of the Rohirrim. It is an anime, and you can see that. You can see a lot of it in the designs of the Rohirrim, in designs of the buildings, everything. You can see a lot of the old aesthetic, or a lot of the aesthetic that we're used to is present, which I do very much appreciate. I'd say it's a thing. A big part of me wants to maybe make a video about the War of the Rohirrim, but we'll see. I don't quite know what to say about it is the problem. I think the whole video would basically just be me talking about like, I'm not really sure. I think I'm excited. But yeah, either way. So we do have the halberds there. You know, halberds, of course, in a situation like this, halberds should always be able to give a decent account of themselves, even up against some really impressive units. So we've got a halberd there. We've got the Moron on halberds over here, backed up by some heavy gobble infantry. I mean, if they came forward right now against these Swords of Rivendell, they'll rip them apart. But Smeagol's more than, you know, he's got his reinforcements ready to go. This Oleg High still standing. You see those poor Imladris Guardians, they have gone absolutely beaten to pieces, but they've done very well. Those were the reinforcing Imladris Guardians that came on in. Gwaithir Meridian getting pulled back, but taking some shots there from the Temple Guard. Fantastic. I mean, there's no better target for them, I feel, than the Gwaithir Meridian. I think the Gwaithir Meridian do actually have a shield value. That's just to account for kind of... it's something that, of course, a lot of these Elven Sword Masters have. Now, of course, they're not quite Sword Masters, but they are still this elegant Hammer Master, which I think is quite cool. Something I do talk about a lot is this aesthetic of, if we could get a charge in the Hammer Guard, we're not going to get our lances down. No, well, we're trying to run past them. I don't think we would have gotten our lances down anyway, Pemberton needs to get these guys out of there. Witchers, they've not been used either yet. Oh, saying that though, if we could get some charge into the Witchers, but the thing is we need to charge the Witchers. The Witchers are not bad in melee. They're quite fragile. They're only 3 hit points apiece, but there's only 13 of them. So he's getting out there. But the problem is if they relax and chill out for a minute and then they get a charge in later, it's gonna be horrific for Hard-Headed Cloud. Because he really needs that fire just to burn through these boys. The Blackguard have been sent on in here, and you're seeing, because the attackers really didn't use many of their elites in these early pushes, so they've still got a lot of those elites left to start grinding through, whereas the defenders were there. Well, the defenders had to use their elites. It wasn't that was like a strategy for them. It was a necessity for them to use their elites. Yeah, you can see poor Gondor infantry being moved on over here. I do like the amount of troops that have had to be moved back and forth through the lines, and Pemberton's been quite good with conserving his energy and being patient, because it's definitely it'd be a damn temptation just to sprint your guys back and forth. But the problem with that is then they just arrive and they're going to get gutted because they've got no defensive skill. As you tire, you lose that defensive skill. Oh, Witchers. Oh, that's funny actually. So the Witchers did burn. The Witchers burned the Angmar in general. So they definitely burned up a few of the Witcher on Blackguard. See, that's too much ammunition now. I think have they used up all their ammo? That's at least it's at least 2.5 volleys that he gave there. So he needs to hold fire now. So he killed off the Fountain Guard, probably killed off a few other elites. He never really, I don't know how much friendly fire he got. He burned up his own general, but I do kind of like the idea of the Witchers just getting pissed off with the failures of this Angmar general and just burning him and taking control of the army themselves. Even if it is a Blackguard, there's nothing really more intimidating than a Witcher, I wouldn't say. Scourge Readers, they're broken. I thought Scourge Readers were locked morale. Oh dear. I suppose not. Even if you are locked morale, that doesn't mean because the game can't Medieval 2 doesn't necessarily have locked morale. It doesn't have like an unbreakable unit hard coded into the game. So locked morale isn't actually locked. It's actually like 999 morale. Oh dear. Where the hell has that happened? It's not down here. Is it over here? Was it? No, because that was a Mordor. That was a Mordor flag bearer, I thought. That's a very lucky flag bearer. Nazgul there.
The enemy are badly bloodied.
Might have been. It might have been. No, because they don't have that. I know. Could have been over here. The Nazgul are still very healthy, and we saw. Oh my god, 101 guys broken there, and that's going to cause a constant morale debuff to the rest of them Gondorians. Those Pelagrim Marines are definitely going to be affected by it. Of course, it's just militia infantry, but they kind of need that at this stage in the fight, just to go toe-to-toe with the Mornon infantry. They'd happily have that engagement. But yeah, definitely, General dropping at that critical stage is going to be a bit of a nuisance for them. Over here we got the Black Orcs, the Mountains. Anything else that's really impressive? No, just the Black Orcs, the Mountains. So again, the Imladris defense here is going to hold out, but it's keeping them engaged. It's wearing them down bit by bit, and hopefully allowing for moves to be performed elsewhere. Crossbows. There's still 50 guys there. We need to be. I don't know how much damage we're going to be able to do with the crossbows at this point. Is the thing. Over here. These crossbows are getting sent on into melee, but no, they're firing, so they've still got ammo. The Berserkers have pushed through, getting held back by the Elder Imwe Spears. Elder Imwe Spears will be bested by those Blackback Berserkers, but if you're gonna put something in their way, then the Elder Imwe Spears are about as good as you could go. And if they can allow these Archers of Rivendell a decent shot, then that could be really, really good. Fingers crossed for them there. Halberds there starting to break. Once that gets shattered, there's not really anything more set to come through that passageway. Still the militia infantry break. Well, yeah, just broken. Not found their way out yet. Over here, it looks like, yeah, Thanatos is trying to go for a shunt through. But those Orc Maulers are not really built for that. But up against such a thin line, all it's really going to allow for is to get his Temple Guard into better positions. So this Temple Guard can try and go toe-to-toe with the Elder Runway Swordmasters. As good as the Elder Runway Swordmasters are, those Dark Numenorians are going to be tough to beat. Over here. Still 2 Mithrandir's retinue. We need to keep them safe if we can. We don't want 1 now. 4 Witchers left. The fact that he's using them so freely in melee here makes me think that they have run out of ammunition. This went from, I was feeling very, very confident for the defenders, and now I'm actually a bit scared. What are we at anyway? Percentage-wise, it's in the defenders' favour, but you're seeing the Blackguard, who's still got some Witchers. I mean, those 4 guys, they'll definitely kill, you know, quite a good few. Hammer Guard there, we've got the Berserkers still on the attack. Orc Maulers, yeah, Thanatos has been able to sort of push through here properly, and these poor sentries are going to get busted up. That's a good move from Thanatos here. Instead of just chasing away these guys, he is going to sort of turn around, fully surround the sentries, and as good as the sentries are, being fully surrounded, having blooming Temple Guard, and no, that's the general and the Temple Guard, but there's still Nazgul around here. Waithy Meridain, though, certainly capable of dealing with the Nazgul at this point, I'd say. Swords of Rivendell, it looks like everybody's falling back. Now, the problem with this map, though, it's a tough map to hold, because this is really your final defensive point, and there's so many entrances again. It kind of is, it's not really a defensive point, it's a rally point. It's just kind of a meet in the middle, meet outside the town hall. That's all they can do. And yeah, we'll see. We'll see how they want to try and do this. There's a lot of elves left. Godhillim, archers. Godhillim, oh, bloodied up Godhillim. Armor upgraded, of course, bloodied. Some archers, spearmen. Pemberton's not got much left. It really is going to come down to the elves, I feel. But that's the way it sort of should be. You kind of want the Imladris elves coming in at the end and hopefully winning the day for you. That's your role as an armored up human. In this case, I'd feel. Pemberton, can he... does he have his Mithrandir's retinue over here? No, they're running. I think his Mithrandir's retinue might have been defeated there. There was only 2 of them left, so I suspect they probably got caught somewhere. Ooh, over here, what's still fighting? Yeah, the sentries. Oh, it's such a shame. Because these sentries, if they had made it back to the town centre, they could have happily plugged up one of those entranceways. They'll kill a good few more of these maulers, but no, that's a good win for Thanatos there. I think he can be chuffed to bits with that. Over here, Black Orcs, the mountains, Citadel Guard running off. He's been successful there. I think these guys are running. Yeah, Swords of Rivendell are running over there. How are we doing up against the Berserkers? Oh dear, these poor archers shot up. That's a beefy Black Orc to the mountains, goodness sake. 3 Elder Rimway spears. Just start anchoring their right flank against the wall there. Halberds coming in though, just to deal with them. We still have ammunition from those crossbowmen as well. So the attackers really do have the initiative, and when you're an attacker and you've got ammunition at this late stage in a fight, you've got so much control. You know, the defenders, they got no cover here, so you can kind of just move up and pick your targets however you please, and it's gonna have to force the defenders to either just sit and take it or charge out against you. We'll go to 1 times speed now. Things should be all right. We're all sort of pretty concentrated here. So it's kind of just going to come down to how much ammo do the attackers have left. Let me take a quick gulp of tea. Because if they've still got, you know, 2 full units worth of those heavy gobble crossbows, this is gonna be disastrous for the defenders. But if the attackers are kind of forced to just throw themselves into melee up against all of this, then I think the defenders still definitely have a decent shot. Because even the that's 122 elves armored up. Is that armored up or not? I think that's not. I think they have more of like a different design for the leather when they do receive that armor upgrade. Citadel Guard, we still do have some Gondorians on the field. Those Imladris sentries broken. So yeah, now we're kind of when we were losing that trebuchet, I didn't think it was a big deal because I was like, things are going really in our favor. We don't need it. It's keeping the Olokai busy for a while. That's okay. But no, now I'm kind of regretting that. But we'll just have to see how well the attackers can kind of keep this together now. You never know how much communication is being had between people. A lot of fights nowadays are all happening in various discords, which is good. So you can get a lot more communication. But it's, yes, if this is just sort of a randomly gathered up fight, this is quite cool. This could be like a fallback point. Because you can enter in there. When people put fences down like this, kind of means you can sort of run through. So you can see the fences are under the ground, but they're still having an effect. So your troops aren't going to run through it. So the building itself is actually walk-throughable, but he's just put these fences around it so that this creates an area that you can kind of enter and be like, oh, we're inside. Okay. Now, Orc archers there. Oh, Thanatos has got arrows still. That's a beefy unit as well. I don't know how many arrows they have. Gwathi Meridain? What's happening here, Smiggle? Oh, I hope that nothing's glitched out about this. I really hope that this replay hasn't glitched out in some way. We'll see. It's just I'm confused with these Gwathi Meridain. If it has glitched out, then there would have been a notice at the start of the video. So you'll know. You'll know if I don't. I think I'll still, even if it glitched out, I'll still post this one up. Just because I think it was definitely a very interesting start. But yeah, it's quite a cool little back and forth start. But we'll see what sort of happens here. Because if these Gwathi Meridain have just sort of been bugged out, the fact that Thanatos has totally ignored them makes me a bit worried, and the fact they're sort of running around kind of crazy in the corner there is a bit scary. We're at 2 times speed here just because we're kind of shuffling a bit. What's he shooting into? Okay, yeah, so he's pulled the Citadel Guard out of the way. The archers are sort of tanking that, looks like. What are you going for? Let's see, I'm trying to work out if this is glitched out or not. He's firing sort of up and over. Into the backs of the archers, maybe? Yeah, okay, so he's just going into the Archers of Rivendell. Definitely a good way to sort of just... I mean, it's the most fragile unit that you can be shooting into. I mean, of course, if I was Smiggle, I'd want to maybe spread them out a bit or something like that. Oh, Wardens are still kicking about. I mean, even if they can't be used... Even if they don't have many shots left, that's still quite a bit of damage. Athelian Rangers, of course, with that body piercing, which they still have in 0.97. Definitely a very important tool for the defenders. Pemberton is sallying forth to engage. This is where the bulk of the attackers are coming from. Kind of, yeah, the main attack is there, and then there's sort of the secondary gobble-led attack from the side. But yeah, Gondorian archers and Citadel Guard charging up by themselves. The problem is, yeah, the elites are just going to tear this apart. As much as I like the aggression, the elites are just going to come around and break that before they really get themselves fully used. If you wanted to do this, we kind of needed to come all... We needed a full charge with everybody, I feel. Anyway, archers moving forward. Godhillim opening up. Wait, what? No. Archers Rivendell opening up, then the Godhillim over here. Athelian Rangers opening up too. Everybody just sort of pouring shots onto these attackers now. Hammer Guard, now this is really where we need those gobbles to push. So they're coming, but maybe they need to come a little bit faster. You see the gobble crossbows here set up, still have ammunition. But this is great. Defenders are not going to sit by. They're not going to let the attackers use that ammunition. They're getting stuck in. Aggro maybe letting his crossbows move a little bit too far ahead of their defending infantry. And he's going to get punished for that. This is really where the Meridain... if this Meridain did something, I don't quite know what's happened with the Meridain. Over here. Sitting on guard, getting busted up, standing their ground way better than I thought they would. And they'll hurt the Temple Guard as well, and they will really bust up Mordor infantry, who can rely on armour. They do have a bit of defensive skill, something. You know, it's not like a Rude Hour. They've got a bit more defense than the Rude Hour does, but they do kind of rely on that armour. Like we've got a Sword of Rivendell just to make sure that nothing rushes through. Ooh. The Wardens of Minas Ithil, flanking around the side here, getting grabbed by the Drake Broodlings, but engaging a few of them for a little while, slicing and dicing with them. But getting pushed again now. Oh dearie me, yeah, the likes of the Drake Broodlings are going to be so scary at the end of the game here. 5 Nazgul, that's a go. Oopsie daisies. You don't really want to be a baby dragon knocking around a Nazgul, that's not really the best thing for you. But yeah, cool. Drake Broodlings coming on back. Warden's gotten taken out there. That's a bit scary. And to be honest, those Drake Broodlings being free and clear to run riot here is a bit frightening. The Godhalim really are going to be wanting to save some ammunition to deal with them, but the Godhalim are also going to be wanting to blast the Blackbacks and everything. Announcer doesn't like the chances of the defenders here. But considering, I mean, it's gone pretty well on the main, this main avenue here. These archers should be able to deal with what's left. Hammer Guard there. Still 13 Hammer Guard. Where's the Meridain? What happened? What's up with them? The Witchers here, if they've got ammo, now they're being used quite cautiously, so maybe they do have ammo, but that could very well just be a bait. You know, they could be finished. Over here, Blackguard, 3 of them. Shots coming in from the Archers of Rivendell and actually getting a little bit of friendly fire, unfortunately. As you saw, but I mean, a shot into an Elder Roundway Archer, most of that damage is getting negated. Black Orcs and Mountain there, gonna struggle up against the Gwathi Arthand. Berserkers will do a bit more damage, but yeah. Looks like those crossbows, oh, they're broken now. But he didn't try to retreat them, makes me think that they did sort of not near enough run out of ammo. Over on this end, the Halberds, ooh, and the Gobble King Bodyguard. Yeah, they'll quite comfortably sort of slice and dice their way through these Archers of Rivendell. Yeah, the baby dragons are in. And I mean, with the exception of shooting them down, that's really all we can do to deal with the Drake Broodlings. Say it's such a flat ground territory here, 37 before contact. Yeah, Drake Broodlings should be able to sort of just bit by bit mince through these backline troops. Still sitting on guard. Oh no, they're broken, unfortunately. Now this guy's sort of, he was fighting to the death there. He could have maybe gotten a kill. It's very rare to see a guy that's fighting to the death get a kill, as say their stats are drastically lowered when they're fighting to the death. It's much more of just like a panic fight than anything else. I like this. This is a good move from Smeagol. Just basically picking one of the lanes and just setting up. That's really the only thing you can do in response to the Drake Broodlings. You can't really hold that open area. Maybe had they tried to do that, instead of holding in here with everything, maybe if they tried to hold this main street, that could have been the better idea, but that would have allowed some good shots coming in. Hard to really say, but that's probably the better strat. Godhalim having an okay time up against the Blackbacks, but they'll definitely get hurt. Gwathi Arthand having a much better fight up against the Black Orcs. Godhalim moving in to support the sentries. Now if you wanted to be quite naughty, you could come around here with the baby dragons, get a backstab. Oh, or you could come around here. Looks like the baby dragons are just being used, you know, scrounge out kills here and there. Just grab, make sure that nothing ends up sort of coming back from routing. Nothing can sort of, you know, turn the tide at the end of this fight. Again, what's up with the Meridian? Maybe they got glitched out here or something. I think maybe they're like stuck or something like that. And Smeagol has been trying to order them to move away, but somehow they've maybe got a model. Usually in Medieval 2, this is something that I quite like about Medieval 2, every person kind of behaves independently. That's in defeat, probably from Gondor, I suspect, because I don't think he had anything left on the field. Every person moves independently, whereas in the likes of Warhammer, you know, it's a blob. It's you know, a unit is one entity. So you see in Medieval 2, you know, you've always got like one or two guys like stuck here and there, and the rest of the unit still behaves totally fine. So, or not totally fine, usually behaves quite well. Trying to sort of bounce back and forth there is a bit scary for them. Definitely pretty damaging. Oh dear me, yeah, they've just barreled through this now. That was the general in with the general's in with sentry. Surely not. He was in with the Godflame. He just happened to get wedged over there. Gwathi Harthand here getting attacked in the back by the broodlings, but any stab from the Gwathi Harthand is going to be enough. Wavering, goodness me! It's very rare that you see the Gwathi Harthand getting broken at 35 guys, but being near enough totally surrounded, yeah, wow! That's a surprise. That's a real surprise there. I quite liked that they had created this little circle there. It would have been quite cool. They've all sort of come together now for that final stand, but again, they won't really be able to inflict much damage when they're in that sort of fighting to the death mode. Now, hopefully the attackers, well, I mean, technically, if they want the win, the attackers have to go and deal with the bugged out unit there, which it's a shame. Had they had that Gwathi Meridian, because that's an armoured up Gwathi Meridian, still 60 elves. I don't think it would have won them the game, but as I say, it would have killed off the Nazgul. I feel, and no, I think because I mean having those Drake Broodlings, you've seen there's only one Drake Broodling left. I'm sure that Aggro would have been a lot more careful with the Drake Broodling had he had it been a much sort of closer fight, maybe. Now it looks like everybody's kind of moving off to go deal with those Gwathi Meridian. Looks like it. Yeah, Drake Broodling kind of getting set up there. So I'm just going to set a 6x speed for that. It should be pretty clear how things are going to go unless these Gwathi Meridian really work some magic. So that's a very odd glitch. I've never... Like, I've seen them maybe do that next to, like, a bridge or something, but I'm wondering what the hell has happened there. So that's... Okay, yeah, so the Gwathi Meridian killed off that last Drake Broodling. That's good. I wonder if being attacked like that, is that going to wake them up? No, they're still stuck there. But, I mean, either way, that's still what, 54 guys that they've got to kill now. So I hope they don't just shoot them. I hope they engage them in melee. I'm sure they will. 53, dealing with the last Black Orcs, the mountain there. Blackback Berserkers are in there too. That can actually hurt them. Halberds, though, is going to be a bit too crazy, especially because that's still quite a beefy unit. More Black Orcs. It's just getting these surrounds, getting these charges in is going to be a bit crazy for them. As they try their very best. But that 99 for 95, I mean, it did work out pretty damn close, I feel. And it's going to end up, they're going to inflict another percentage point of casualties here, unless they end up getting broken, I feel. Yeah, the Temple Guard are here. You see, even the problem is because a lot of these guys are just not engaging. Maybe if somebody knows, like, why did they glitch out there? It's very strange. Very odd indeed. So 96 maybe? Are they going to get another percentage point of kills? I don't know. If they get into those archers, yeah, just about every swing is going to kill an archer. Goblin King Bodyguard, I don't know if they'll get 100%. I was thinking they would. But yeah, so had that unit been available fully, maybe they could have turned it around, but no. That was very odd, because I was thinking it was in the bag for the defenders. But I often think, yeah, that's something, and I've done that in battles that I've played recently. I felt like, oh wow, the defenders have it. They've definitely won, easy peasy, and then suddenly it's like, oh wait, oh god, no. Yeah, 96, good stuff. So yeah, 4% difference at the end. That's a pretty damn close fight for me. I'm really happy with that. Might even take out another one, who knows. But the generals getting involved now, that could be a really nice final kill. If they can bring him down, if they can get him. These guys seem to be getting a bit stun locked, or actually these guys, it's like the guys that are pressed up against that fence seem to not really even be attacking. Interesting. Yeah, like look, this guy who he's just sort of been bounced out of that, and he's just like, no, I am stationary. Very odd. Yeah, that's a admit defeat there. Yeah, because I mean, I think these guys were just they weren't fighting back at that point. So, still, whoa, jeez, peeps, man. So you can see from Aggro's massive army, and the amount of prisoners they took as well. That's really quite impressive. So what do we end up with here? Godwin, yeah, I mean, they were getting used at the very end there, and they could have gotten a lot more kills in melee, but I think they were just targeted down by the baby dragons. Archers of Rivendell, that's a bit sad when, yeah, you see that one, but maybe he was targeting some big boys. Oh god, the Eldraine Swordmaster, 558, and these Guardians 665. What the heck? And yes, 742. So you can see just how much, like, Thanatos surrounding and wiping out that unit of Imladris sentries was so important there, because this is what they're capable of. That's 700, almost 750 kills from the sentries. Swords of Rivendell, 552. That is, sorry, no, yeah, 562 from a Swords of Rivendell. Now, of course, it's just goblins, but it's Imladris, just Imladris doing crazy Imladris things. You know, so yeah, unfortunate about that Gwathi Meridian getting stun locked there up against the side. I don't know what causes that. That's very strange. Yeah, I've never seen that happen before. But yeah, either way, I mean everybody did pretty damn good. I think everybody sort of played their role well, and yeah, Thanatos. I think Thanatos was probably the most experienced of the attackers there. And you saw with a lot of the with a lot of his plays, sort of the way that he was pushing through, I think was pretty damn impressive. But no, cool. I'd like to see maybe know what happened with the poor Mithrandir's retinue. I think definitely taking them was a damn good shout, because of course this map is just, I think it's perfect for it. I mean, if we had, I don't think we needed a Gwathi Rock Door, you know, with the amount of damage that the bloody Imladris infantry was doing. So yeah, I think that was all okay. Just dealing with those archers at the end, had the attackers just come in and fought the defenders in like a defensive location, you know, but they it's always nice to be nice. It's always nice to be like, oh, let's be really fair. But this was still a really close fight, and had they not used up their ammunition, this could have very well turned into a loss. So, you know, it's not fair to ask people to be overly kind. But yeah, cool. Anyway, guys, thank you very much, and I will. And that's, yeah. So that is the last 0.97 battle. So I will probably get rid of 0.97 and be fully focused on 0.98. Hopefully, get my backlog of Silmarillion fights done as well, because I do have quite a few of them to rattle through. But anyway, sure. Thank you guys very much, and I will see you later.